Oh, Hilton stay, your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. Enjoy comfortable rooms and friendly service when you stay with Hilton instead. Save up to 25% this season when you book with Hilton. Hilton for the stay. Terms apply.
Every Who down in Who Newville liked the holidays a ton. But where to get great prices on gifts, they had no idea. None. They searched and they searched for great gifts under $25. Gifts for spouses and friends and even their toddlers. When suddenly one Who shouted, Walmart has what you want, knowing they have Lego, Tree Hut, and low prices to flaunt. So they enjoy the holiday season as Who's often do. Cheering and shouting, Walmart has incredible gifts. Who knew? Find gifts they'll love under $25 at Walmart.
We find Vecna, we end this once and for all, together.
On November 26th.
We have a plan. It's a bit insane. Everyone in?
He knows where we are.
Watch out!
Get ready for one last adventure.
We stay true to ourselves. Stay true to our friends, no matter the cost.
Found you. Stranger Things, the final season, begins November 26th, only on Netflix.
Hello, I'm Diane Morgan. If you know who I am, you know who I am. If you don't, who cares? I'm here to explain Italian Time, a holiday phenomenon where Italians throw away their clocks and gather for eternity with San Pellegrino. I've been at this party so long that I've eaten 5 courses, hugged someone's grandma twice, and been offered a job in the family restaurant. So this holiday season, make sure to bring enough San Pellegrino to last you through the meal, the after meal, and the entire goodbye ritual. San Pellegrino, holiday on Italian Time.
Hello and welcome to episode 268 of the Washed Up Emo podcast. I am Tom Mullen from washedupemo.com. Today on the podcast, we welcome the legend, Chris Higdon. You might know him from hardcore bands, but we're going to talk about Elliott and his new band, Mirrorless. Mirrorless has a new release on EVR, Equal Vision Records. Check that out, equalvision.com. The band is Mirrorless. We talk about Best Friends Forever. We just recently got to see him. They played another show in Pomona for a very interesting story that I left in at the end, so please stick around for that. It was unexpected. Mirrorless are doing dates. Check them out if they're near you. And Chris Higdon is an absolute legend, and we get to talk about some politics, about Best Friends Forever, a few other things. So hopefully you enjoy. This is episode 268 of the Washed Up Emo podcast with Chris Higdon from the band Elliott and Mirrorless.
Tom.
What's going on?
How are you doing, bud?
How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm glad that I got to finally talk to you. I've seen you twice in a month, and then I got to really chat. So I apologize about that.
No, it was, there's tons of people around the shows. It's just, yeah. I think it is interesting you mentioned that time we spoke in COVID, and then soon after was when, the Elliott sort of things talked again. Can you talk about that? Like, what was what was the change, or what kind of happened?
Well, I mean, it was always kind of at the point where we just for it feasibly to happen, for it to happen logistically and financially and all that things. We just I just don't see how it can work. And honestly, it was Furnace Fest. We had turned that down so many times that they finally came at us with, to us, which is a crazy offer. And, it was just like, oh, well, that's actually feasible. Like we can actually, fly in. At that point, it was just Kevin. We can fly him in for practices and things like that. Not a lot. I mean, it was, and really, at this point, you can get on a plane sometimes for $100. So, but it was a situation where it was just like, okay, now we can actually make this happen. And maybe, and then we were lucky enough for the Alexis on Fire guys to have us out. And so it made it so we could actually do it and not, hurt the families and whatnot financially. And, it was so it was a good time. So it wasn't fully just the financial situation, but it definitely, that was like, just made it to a point where we could even contemplate it.
Right.
You know, and you know, and I try to give them all the kudos in the world, because it was awesome to play that again and play that festival and be a part of that. And
so after that, so after the Alexa stuff, you did a few more dates, you went home. Was it back to normal, or was it like, okay, we'll kind of keep this Elliott thing going because Furnace Fest and this Alexis tour went well, and if something works, then we'll try it?
Yeah, it was kind of just like, oh, okay, well that was kind of the idea, but then, you know how life goes. It was like almost 3 years later, and it was like, oh yeah, we didn't do any of that stuff. You know what I mean? And then it came up again with this, with the best friends, and so it was like, oh, okay, well, we can do some shows, and we really wanted to do some like smaller, like normal club, our size venues. And so that kind of allowed us to do that again. And the shows were awesome. I mean, they were definitely much smaller, shows, but it was a really interesting position to be in, to see what we were pulling in, and then also how good it felt. Like it really didn't, like it was a, whether it was a medium-sized crowd or a small crowd, it was, the people that were there were like the most heartfelt, hardcore, flying in from different parts of the country to a small venue kind of situation was, we just appreciate it so much more than we understood to, in our 20s. That's just kind of what it comes down to.
What did you think about the audience? I noticed younger.
Oh, well, we've had, like definitely in the, at the Best Friends, for sure. And then even in, some of just our normal shows, that some kids are being turned on and they're coming out. And that was kind of an eye opener too, is like, oh, we need to make sure that all these shows are all ages, and, people can get in that want to get in and whatnot. But, I think that's an important step. I was talking with other bands, and if you're not making a point to try to reach the younger audience and to try to reach out to the younger bands, and that's what I think was really fun, was getting to play with local openers every night. And it's kind of is like you're just treading water in that kind of nostalgia world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So who did you talk with about that? Like, was it people at the festival, or just conversations before?
Yeah, I think mainly like, kind of people we're close to, I was talking to Vic a lot about that. Cause we're out of the mix, so to speak, and rightfully so. We're fucking old, so it's like, if we don't know the right venue to play, or, it's like, then we need to be, searching that out and finding the people and finding the, where the kids are going. And it's also like, I don't want to take it too far in that world, because it's like, there needs to be the room for the kids to do their thing. You know what I mean? And It's like, we're kind of, not saying we're done, but we're getting there.
Yeah. I actually like that distinction, because I think I sometimes fall into that trap, and I do think that there are times to let go, and that is in that position. And I still think 2000 was yesterday, right? It's just like, and it's not.
Exactly.
you know, when they do those things of like, you know, Happy Days was closer, you know, I'm like, what? Like it's closer to that? Like shit.
Yeah.
But for you to kind of still try to be, you know, let's play with local openers. Let's figure out where we kind of sit. And I do think it is, like you said, all ages, or making sure that we're playing these certain venues, or at least being able to, you know, support what we're doing. And if some new fans come out, like, I mean, that's just, I don't know. I feel like you can just learn about like what turned you on to this, or like, it's almost like you have more questions for them.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not in a bad way.
Yeah. Yeah. No, not in a, you know, give me 3 Nirvana songs since you have a Nirvana shirt on kind of bullshit, you know, like, and more of just like, oh, how did you find us? Like,
yeah.
And because, you know, that's a deep dive, you know, to a degree.
Yeah.
You know, we're not the quintessential, you know, bands of that era even. It's, you know, we were kind of always the kind of deer in headlights kind of band, you know. Even if people were into us, we kind of got that kind of stare a lot of times, mainly our own fault, whether it just be changing up the sound or, you know, record to record being so different. You know, I think we kind of put that on ourselves, so to speak. But,
yeah. Was it hard to get ready for Best Friends?
I mean, it was a little easy. Well, I don't know I guess it was a little easier since we had already kind of gone through a lot of that stuff. But it was so now Kevin and Jay are in California.
Mm-hmm.
So that made it a little more difficult. But you know, we're using some technology, you know, just to kind of get by. And, you know, Ashley and I would practice together with pre-recorded tracks, you know, but that's so like, I don't know. It's clinical feeling. It's not like getting everybody into the same room.
That's not with Kevin and Jay. They are not click track. No offense.
That's right. Yeah, they should not be click tracked. Yeah, this will not. This program is not responding. Yeah, it is. It's definitely a little. It was like, I hate doing this, but it worked, you know. And until we get, you know, I keep getting hit on my feeds about being able to practice remotely. So I don't know how I must be looking up stuff or, you know, talking about that kind of thing, but we're not quite there. I think you have to be within like a 500-mile radius or something, to even make that stuff work really well right now.
So that's been tough. What about at the festival? Did you get to see anybody or talk to anybody that you hadn't seen in a while?
Really, I didn't. That was a bad, you know, thing about, because we in retrospect, we probably should have given ourselves that whole weekend, because we just came in straight from like Salt Lake City the night before, I think, and play that show. So, you know, I didn't get to see all the bands I would have loved to see that weekend. You know, I would have loved to see the, you know, Burning Airlines and Texas and Jawbreaker, and see, you know, not that I know those guys personally, but I would have loved to seen, you know, those bands and just been around that energy too. Mm-hmm. But I know Jay and Kevin had a blast. I know Jay was saying he had some great conversations with you. And,
oh yeah, we were running into each other so many times. It was really funny. I was like, well, if we're running into each other so much, let's just sit down and chat. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. But yeah, I was hoping that I would get a little more time, but then my family came in, so
they wanted to hit the craps tables. Like what was holding this up?
Right. We ended up going to Meow Wolf.
Oh, nice.
because that was a big one on their list. We've gone to all the other ones, and
That's fun.
Yeah, so that was a big thing and then we came back and we got to see Jimmy Eat World play at the very end. So that was cool.
The bangers.
Yeah.
And the old school stuff, the old school.
Man, it was they were doing it all. So yeah, it was good. And someone had one of those really nice cabanas.
Oh hell yeah.
Up at the top, so they invited us up, and it was a good time.
Hell yeah. Good. One thing too I thought from the festival, and which I was surprised how few bands mentioned politics.
Right. I've heard that I got a little bit into trouble. I didn't.
Oh really?
I didn't mean to. I mean, it's it was just someone that had issues with the way I was talking, and because I guess I wasn't as far enough on whatever side they were on.
Oh, interesting.
But
that's why it's called a conversation.
Exactly.
There's varying degrees of color. There's varying degrees of gray. Anyway,
there's nuance.
There's nuance. That's the word.
Yeah, but there's no nuance. There's no nuance in being homophobic or being racist or being a Nazi. There's no nuance there. So where the nuance is how your neighbor is viewing you without talking to you, and how you're viewing them without talking to them. You may be completely off base. You may be completely right about their politics and the way they are, but you're not going to know until you talk to them. And that was kind of my point.
Mm-hmm.
Is if everyone is closed off, we're never going to make 1 inch of difference. And sometimes that's all you need, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the barrier. It's just because, I mean, it's kind of like the stupid, or like some mystery or some drama you're watching, and you're like, if you guys would just talk to each other.
Yeah, totally. Those are so annoying. I know exactly what you mean.
You're like, all you had to do is ask one question, and this whole thing is done.
It's really hard to watch Scooby-Doo now.
Right.
With that in mind. It's super hard because you're like, God, Fred, just talk to Daphne before.
Yeah, it's like all you had to do.
Yeah.
No, but it's kind of, that was, to my point of what I did say. And it was completely, and it comes into hardcore, I think, and coming from that era where, like, so much of what is said on stage is either a script or, something that you've given some thought to, or maybe it's what the song is about, or, whatnot. But it definitely kind of like hit me from nowhere, and I just had to say it. And maybe it was, and I'm sure it has a lot to do with just like, that might be, who knows? That might be the last time I have that many people looking at me at one time. And that was what I felt like needed to happen,
I really like the way you said that, because I do agree, and I'd love to talk hardcore, and we're going to move into, Mirrorless and a little bit more on that side. But I do think it's really important that you said, like, I have these people listening. I was asked to be here. I am speaking about what I'm passionate about, and I'm going to say how I feel. And it's not, during the guitar while it's ringing out, because this song is about truth, and this, and this song, it's like, it's not any of like this, it's not contrived. And maybe none of that is when I see hardcore shows, but I think you can tell a little bit when it's just something happens in the moment, or there's something that's current. And maybe a song still resonates, right? If I see, when's the last time? I thought we saw Youth of Today, right? Like, some of the same stuff is going to be said, and that's still fucking cool. Or it still resonates, or it still matters, and that's kind of fucked up that it still, needs to be said. But in your example, I felt it. I wanted to say it. I have these people here, and again, it's just so interesting that it was, I don't know, it's like this instant, like, yes or no, or what the fuck, or hell yeah. It's not any conversation between. It's almost like the VIP and the general audience were two sides. Does that make sense? And there's like this line, and no one's supposed to cross.
Right.
So
right. Yeah. Yeah, it's and it's really odd. And I think in my just being naive to a point, like during the whole life of Elliott, even was that, you know, it was almost like, well, yeah, what no one likes racism, like, no, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it was almost like, it was like, oh, we don't need to talk about this anymore. We're preaching to the choir. It's not getting beyond this room, and we've kind of solved it. It seems like things are getting better, right? You know, from, you know, maybe the late 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Like the difference between that and then into the 2000s, it was like, oh, I think we're doing pretty good. I felt like it was just like, yeah, that's a no-brainer. We don't need to keep hammering that down. And I was wrong. You know, we left an opening, and someone filled that opening. And so, you know, and then there was a part of me during, you know, during that COVID era and some of the time before that, where it was rightfully so and needed, hey, middle-aged white guy, what do you have to scream about? You know?
Yeah.
Be quiet. And it's like, okay, like, be quiet and listen. Okay, I got that. That makes sense. But then that gap got filled with people that would only listen to white guys, I guess. And now we've got this whole mess that's going on.
Yeah.
And so if you're only going to listen to old white guys, I guess I'll give you something else to listen to, because what you're listening to or what you're finding is not the right message.
Yeah.
You know?
Or it's a different message, and you need to be open to hearing different thoughts.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. Let me rephrase if I'm not phrasing that properly. If you're only listening to white guys, then let me be the one white guy to tell you not to be a racist or homophobe.
Yeah.
Or a jerk, you know?
Yeah, I remember my dad watching the news, and he would have it on CNN for a little bit. And this is when you flip channels. Remember the return, right? It was the last channel you were on. You could quickly go back. So he would have his favorites, and he would flip around, and it would be CNN, and then he would go to MSNBC, and then Fox, and then I forget the other one. And it would just be, and I'd be like, why are you watching Fox? And he's like, I want to hear what they're saying to be able to understand why they're saying what they say. And again, that's this was the 90s, so a little bit, it's not as, I mean, I'm sure Murdoch was fucking shit up then. But anyway, it was a little eye-opening to me of me being in like this Earth Crisis straight edge mode, right? Of like, this is it. This is the only thing. So anyway, I guess the story was sort of me opening up, and then to not hear it that much during the festival. I don't know, maybe it just wasn't on people's minds, or I don't know, or people are scared to say something too.
Right. And that, you know, and that's when you need to talk the most, is when you're scared to, you know. And I think, you know, and I'm not gonna lie, it's you know, I'm in a fairly comfortable position. I'm not reliant on going out on tour or being in a band, you know. This isn't how I'm making my living. So that's easy. It's an easy thing for me to say. It's like, well, I don't care. You want to, you know, if I'm going to be canceled for this, then great, you know, then, because, you know, or something worse, because we're gone beyond, I think, that stuff. Now we're into, you know, people taking your livelihood or taking your freedom of, you know, locking you up. I don't know. We're in a really dangerous place these days.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
But I'm in a, fairly, it's not my resource. It's not my form of income. My quote for this tour was, "I'm a veteran rookie." Like, like I, like
First time, first time, long time.
That's right. It's like playing these shows, doing the things. I mean, I'm talking to like brand new bands that are playing their first show, and they're showing me like their in-ear monitors and stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, I have no idea. How do you do that? I don't know.
I got to go tune my guitar, so
yeah.
I'm busy. Yeah. Oh, that's nuts. Well, I'm glad you guys had fun. I'm glad that you did it, and it seems like this has opened the door to other things that come up. You guys are open to it.
Oh yeah, and even as I say in one of my faces, that like, oh yeah, it's so awesome to play these small clubs. It's like, okay, well, I mean, we can't do that. One, we'll never get probably the opportunity to do the run we just did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the club owners are like, oh yeah, that was cool. We can't pay you again.
Right.
But maybe we'll do, we'll just slowly start building it back up if people want to see it. I don't also want to just, I'm not kidding. None of us are kidding ourselves that like, oh man, we can go on, we can tour 6 months out of the year. It's like, no, you can't. You can, if you can do this every 3 years, that might be your best bet, but if the mood finds us and we can, write some new music and do whatever, then, who knows what can happen.
Yeah.
But,
and then, I mean, the fire's still there. So Mirrorless.
Yeah.
When did that get going? When did you bug everybody, or did someone bug you?
Yeah. Well, it's actually right after the last Elliott stuff. So it was about 2 years probably when I started talking to Ryan and Tree about that. And
let's do Ryan from Coliseum and Brian from By the Grace of God, right?
Exactly.
Cool.
Yep.
Just give some context for everybody.
Yeah. And then Ben Sears is a drummer. He was in Xerxes and a lot of other great Louisville bands. I think he did some touring with By the Grace of God as well. But yeah, I was at a show, and soon after that Elliott run, and they're like, "Hey, we're doing this thing. Would you be interested?" And I was like, because at that point, and then they threw out some like they were like, "Right, we're kind of doing this like skate punk kind of thing," and I was like, "Oh, like Circle Jerks?" Like I didn't know, and they're like, "Oh, more like Descendants or All kind of thing," and then of course it doesn't sound like any of that, but it's especially when I get involved, it's like, okay, I can do these 3 kind of things while I sing. So if I'm supposed to be playing guitar, I'm kind of limited to drop D and octaves,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we started getting together. I mean, it was one of those things where we almost immediately had all the songs that are on that EP. But then it takes me forever to put lyrics down, and it's not even a process of like just writing lyrics. It just has to like stew in me for a while to get the melodies.
What's stewing? So are you playing the instrumentals like over and over in your car and like humming along? Like what are you doing?
Yeah.
Is that it? Okay.
Yeah. So it's like we got in, we were able to, because Ryan has his own studio. We were able just to kind of record as we write the song. So we probably had the 6 songs done in maybe a couple months, and then it took me forever to finally have something, to the point where the guys were like, yeah, I think we're just going to go, we're going to do something else for a split second.
Wait a minute. You pretty much ghosted them until they said they might break up with you.
Exactly.
Dang.
But I wasn't ghosting. I was just taking so long. I mean, we were still practicing every week,
Uh-huh.
you know,
I'm joking.
doing everything. Yeah. But it definitely was like that. It was just me taking forever. And I just had to, and they just thought I wasn't really into it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So it was like,
are you not just into me? No, I'm into you guys.
Yeah, I'm totally into it. This is just my MO,
Okay. That is frustrating. So they were interesting. So the communication breakdown a little bit, but also has it always been like that?
Yeah. Sadly, it's because that's why, or the bands that I've been in, none of them have like a large output, that's a glacier pace for me.
Sorry, I was going to make a joke like, hey, if you want one EP or one album, call Chris, right?
That's right. Yeah, or if you just want to take, 3 years, if you want to take 3 years for what it takes most people 2 months to do, give me a call.
Yeah. My number will be in the description. Feel free to give me a ring. No, so again, if that's something and you were able to continue to do practice, continue to figure that out, when was that moment that you said, okay, this is as close as I'm going to get?
Oh, as far as like things, so I need the deadline. So that's kind of my thing. Like maybe I could get things done in 2 months if people are like, okay, we're doing this 2 months, you're done, and it's like, okay, I'd probably be able to get it all wrapped up. But for us, it was, as soon as it was, because they were kind of like, yeah, if this isn't happening, then this isn't happening. I was like, oh, okay, it's happening. Let's go. So, then we jumped in and got everything wrapped up. And then it was just the point of, okay, now what do we do with it? Do we put it on a label? Do we do it ourselves? Do labels make sense anymore? And it's like, for us, we're so old that's like, even me trying to help do some of the Elliott merch by myself, I'm just like, oh man, I'm too old for this. I can't, I can't figure out how to,
What do you mean? You didn't know how many to order, or you didn't know what to make?
Oh, it's for, well, I'm saying like just trying to do like we've got like a Shopify thing.
Oh, okay.
And trying to like process orders and do all that, out of my basement. It's just like, and this is kind of silly.
Did merch now take that over, or are you still doing it on your own? You're still doing Elliott on your own?
The Elliott stuff we're still doing like the post tour cleanup kind of stuff, but most likely we'll be switching over to Shirt Killer,
nice,
which is Ryan's other business. So because it just makes it so much easier.
Absolutely.
So then he's able to do like print to order type stuff. So it's
right. That's helpful. So
faster.
The record, you spoke to Dan, or you were talking to labels were flying you out for dinners. What what happened?
Right. Yeah, it was I think if I've got the timeline right, maybe. So this most recent, it's like they just announced that Endpoint re-release of Catharsis through Equal Vision.
Oh, right. EVR did that.
And yeah, so I think it just got announced. So it's just going in for pre-orders or whatever. But so Ryan was helping with that layout, and I had originally taken the photos for that record. So they were just in talks, and Dan was involved with, all that. And so I think that just kind of, Dan heard that we were, Ryan and I and we're all working together and doing stuff. And he's like, "Oh, well, you'd be interested." So we just kind of, ran from that. It was just very organic, very, smooth. Like, yeah, we'll put it out. It's like, great. Cause I've known Dan forever. Just coming out to Elliott shows back in the day. Him and Mary Ellen. And,
Yep.
And, yeah. So, and then you used to work there, right?
I worked at Equal Vision, from 04 to 07, and then I was like a street team kid before that, working with Ian in Merch Now, before it was called Merch. Was it Merch Now back then? It probably was. But the other thing is, I mean, these are some deep cuts because I was talking to Veek recently, and she remembered, she remembered shipping posters to me for...
Oh, that's amazing.
Revelation, and then Ian from Equal Vision was doing the same thing. So in college, get records, get posters, put up stuff, try to people come out to shows. And I'll say this story again, and I fucking laugh so hard. You guys played Cat's Cradle.
Oh yeah,
12 people tops. and my street teaming did not help. But you still didn't let me buy a ticket. You still hung out. You were still cool to me. I must have been, I don't know, bleached hair and 20 and Jinkos were on probably. But I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Some girlfriend at the time was like, "Try these on,"
Yeah, you were, but now you're right in with the right time. That's all coming.
I know.
Back.
Yeah, that's the thing. I remember seeing like middle school kids walk by, and I was like, "What fucking year is it?"
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I threw these out a long time ago. I should have just kept them. But yes, so you were amazing back then. It was a different time, but also I think the organic part of, having these friendships like Vic from Rev or Dan, or these people that have kind of come around. Like there's if you do have something new, you're a little more vulnerable. Like, what's the expectation? If someone doesn't know me, right, or they doesn't know what's going on, so there's a comfort level. And so being able to do this, what was it like putting together the plan or putting together what you guys are going to do around it? What were the expectations, or what are the expectations now that it's out?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm not really sure. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure if anybody even expected us to tour on it, and it's not like we're doing anything massive, but we're getting ready to go out with Shiner, and so that should be fun. Just a really small club, East Coast dates, but yeah, it sounds like a good time.
and then with everybody else, because as you age, other shit comes into play. And so how has this been feasible with family, with work, organizing that? How has that been? Because again, you say, let's go play on the weekends, and then you record, and then you have a label, and then they put it out, and then you gotta, you want to do good for the, that sort of thing happens. Sure. But that's a big decision with 4 people. And then everyone else that's involved with, the rest of the band. So what was that like, or how did you guys come together to figure out, okay, this is what we're going to try to do for this?
Man, luckily, so I am the only one with kids, so that makes it a little easier.
Okay.
And then, but, saying that, it's also, I'm just extremely lucky that my wife puts up with me and is, just like, yeah, go do it if that's what you want to do.
How does she say it? Say that again. Say that again. How does she say it?
If that's what you want to do, yeah. It puts that last part. No, she's been super supportive.
I'm kidding.
But yeah. No. It's a little. It is. There's some truth in that though, for sure. I mean, it's especially. I question myself after the. After doing it back to back like this. I probably should have given a little more time, but there's never a good time.
No.
That's what it really comes
especially
down
on
to.
your timelines.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Because it's going to take me another 3 years to write a new song. So
The comment section. Why were you making fun of Chris? Not. He made the joke first. But no, I think it is. So your wife's, been great about it. You be able to step away and be able to do this, and with work and be able to do this. And I see these releases. And I think, Dan and I spoke about this a little bit of just, it's an excuse to be in touch with someone. It's an excuse to put something out and have it out in the world and share something from people that we love, and try not to, it's like there's not as much, this better do X amount on this release week. And yes, we want Dan and Steve to be able to pay for the lights and everything else going on with what's there, but also there are times when it's okay and you want to do something because you love it. And I feel like that's kind of the ethos of it too. And I'm not saying they're not doing anything or you guys are anything, but it's a different time. You aren't 20, 21. You just bought a van. You're ready to tour for a year and a half.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely, we're kind of, standing on the backs of giants. We're able to do these things, sporadically like this, only because, whether it be the legwork we put in our 20s, and really just the people that are supporting us, are now literally supporting us. The kids that came out the shows are now the people that are doing the label or putting on the show or owning the club, and that's not lost on me. It's not because, these were the band that has these songs that are so much better than anyone else's. No, it's not that in any way, shape, or form. It is just, we're able to do this because we're a part of a community, and that's really what I want to be a part of. And that's why I want to do this. If I could play the exact same clubs that Elliott just played and fill those things, and that's as much as I'll ever be able to, fill, I would be stoked. I would, that is absolutely 100% fine. And I would, honestly love it, because those are the shows that I love to be at and love to be a part of. Now, this current state of where things are with quote unquote hardcore, post-hardcore, or all these things, it's like I also think that's amazing, but that's not for me. You know what I mean? That's this generation's thing. And I'm just enamored by it, but it's cool. I'm watching it.
Yeah. And then it doesn't, this is not you, but it's like, it doesn't sound like there's this jealousy or animosity. It's almost like, I just see it as, and tell me what you think, I see it as like, I know these things are going to continue because there's someone that's going to feel this way, but it's really great to see the hardcore like in this sort of moment right now, because I want to see like what comes of it. Like, are there going to be fuckload more bands? Because I'm really excited about that.
Yeah. Some of, just seeing the bands, that are, on the, whether it be Knock Loose or whether it's Turnstile or, and then I'm like, these bands, those bands are amazing. And then also there's all these younger bands that I'm seeing that I'm like, this is where I'm at. I am full on into this band. And then like, are they going to be helped by this whole surge? And I think they will, so I'm excited to see bands like, do you know that band Gum?
No.
Gumm. And they're in there. I'm sure I haven't got to see them live. I'm sure they're already bigger than I can imagine what a band is these days. But it's like, I can't wait for those bands also to get this huge push.
Yeah.
You know. But
and then those kids
for people.
Yeah, and then those kids are going to look back. They already did, but they're going to keep doing that.
Right.
Well, what was before? Okay, well, I'm not really into that, but then, this band was cool, or I just think I wasn't expecting this 100%. Like,
sure.
Hardcore? Are you joking? Like,
right.
Civ tried that, right? That didn't work out.
Right.
I'm joking, but like, it's just like it went,
sure.
They took a swing.
Yeah. And did really well,
Absolutely. Rival schools.
Time. Yeah. And, all the, Jawbreaker, all those bands, they took a big swing at it. And Elliott was kind of that next wave. And, we were like, yeah, we're not, I don't know if we're going to try that swing. I literally remember talking to people at major labels and being like,
really?
You couldn't do it with Quicksand. You couldn't do it with Jawbox. How can you think you're going to do it with us?
No shit. Which labels?
It's like, I just generic, I don't know, labels. Like it was, we had that like a publishing deal, like a artist development deal, back in the day.
With who?
With it was called Rondor.
Rondor?
Publishing.
Get the fuck out of here! I didn't.
So
remember
it was. So it was.
Oh, now I remember this.
You remember this?
Yes.
Yeah, it was like Ron Moss and
yes,
awesome guy. His dad was Jerry Moss from A&M Records.
Totally.
So it was, we were
Herb Alpert.
Yeah, and but we were never like, we're talking with major labels, but there were all those people were around because of Ron. But they didn't get it either, so it wasn't an issue. But it wasn't like, oh, we don't want to sell out, or it wasn't one of those talks, or one, that wasn't the issue. The issue was just, how are we any different than these amazing bands that were before us that you didn't know what to do with,
Yeah.
And I think more likely their answer was, yeah, you're right. I don't, and we'll just keep looking.
That's a really interesting conversation, and it's like someone watching, like, it's like the beginning of Tommy Boy a little bit. Like, you can't sell brake pads, right? You're like not selling the brake pads.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine. You just there was someone else later on that was going to do it.
Exactly. And that was, that was an interesting time too, because all the bands.
What years? 99?
Yeah, that would have been like the. Well, we actually worked with Rondor. It's probably. It was probably before that. It was before U.S. Songs came out.
Oh,
so,
fuck.
Yeah. So and so that it'd been like 96, something like that.
Dang.
I think that record came out in 97. And and he helped get us into that studio with for US Songs, and yeah, he was awesome. He was a great help to the band.
See, no, that's just, I'm really happy you brought this up, because I think there are levels of, you talked about that, of the venue. I hope that I fill this amount of people, or I do this. And I think there are these decisions and people along the way from big or small places that do help things along, that have a little bit more impact than you realize. And it could just be your publishing contact, or one manager at the time opens up this one door and then it opens up a bunch more things. Or I just think it's interesting, the indie way of, like, doing it yourself, but being able to connect with these people. And there are going to be a few okay people along the way. You just got to be ready for, when they, have like the snakes, that are around.
Exactly. Yeah. And, and it's, we would have talks about, what bands and other bands in Louisville are, popping off or whatever. And that's when I lost my chance to ever be a A&R guy because,
You said no, there's nobody.
no, well, in particular, a band that now is like great friends with Kevin and just beautiful people, but he's like, what about My Morning Jacket? And I was like, I think they're bigger everywhere else than in Louisville because they toured so much. They were, so I was like, I really don't know. And so he's like, okay, and he doesn't know, so, and then, then they blew up, I'm sure. But it was always weird talks like that with the industry type people that was like, I obviously don't have my finger on any pulse.
Yeah.
Or the pulse that is gonna help them.
Yeah.
So it's funny.
Yeah, and then I guess too, from back to the record, like I just think, is it your home? Something's in the middle, or you have time, or you're just open to these things, or are you able to put them in chapters? Like, how are you compartmentalizing to kind of handle these opportunities that come to you that are going to have varying levels of involvement from if it's work, family, and then also these bands that come along? You just haven't stopped.
Right. Well, I think, to me, it feels like I've, just been hibernating for years, but honestly, it's like, I wasn't like, cause even after Elliott, it took so long for Frontiers to come out. And then I think we just missed the mark as far as timing wise went with Frontiers, because I love that band too. It's like right when we were kind of stopping things, kind of the emo revival, whatever, kind of happened again.
Yeah.
and so we, like, Frontiers kind of missed that. And then it was another hibernation period before Elliott came back, and before this Mirrorless stuff started happening again. But yeah, I think it's more of like, I guess I'm more of like, if someone asks, I'm usually like open to on the receiving side of it. Now, whether or not it gets implemented, or I'm able to pull it off, or I'm a flake, which is most of the time within the last few years trying to balance family, it ends up I end up flaking on some things that I overextend myself with. But I think a lot of it is just trying to do it, and then if it works out, it works out. I think a lot of it has to do with just the execution, and if it's a situation where it's like everybody else has their ducks in a row, then it usually seems to happen. I don't put a ton of, which is probably obvious, I don't put a ton of thought in the should I do this kind of thing. It's just like, if it all works out, then it all works out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How are you feeling right now? Do you have hope? Are you feeling okay? I mean, it's such a weird time. Like, how are you feeling right now?
Yeah, it's, I do have hope. I'm not completely lost yet in this climate. I think there's going to have to be a lot of now I'm trying to choose my words correctly so I don't get in trouble. I think there is going to have to be a lot of crossing the lines if we're talking politics.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in more just as my family goes, as it's, I've got 2 young kids, and we've given them this kind of super highway of choices to make, and I don't want I don't want to have sold them, you know, a raw deal or a bad deal, or, you know, I've raised you this way for 15 years and I said that, you know, you can do and be everything and anything that you want to be. Oh, sorry, I messed up. I didn't know that we were going to turn into an authoritarian, you know, regime where you can't live the way you want to live now. You know, it's so that's kind of where okay, I've got to put up or shut up now. Like, I can't just, you know, roll with the punches or sit in the middle of the fence, or, you know, you've got to make a stand. And they're at an age now where, you know, that they understand what's going on, and they, you know, they see me, they see us adults, and they know what's bullshit and not bullshit. And if you're going to say, hey, this is everyone here deserves to live a peaceful and productive life without being stepped on, then we have to stand up and show people that can happen. You know, that's the only hope I've got, I guess.
Yeah, I love it. Perfect, Chris.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to mention?
No, man, just that I appreciate, you know, you doing this, and appreciate your friendship through the years, and you know, and I'm so glad so many bands are okay with saying they're emo now.
I know. And there's
some of these young bands are like,
they
we got to
fucking
play with.
love it, right?
They're just like, hey, we're emo, you know, Salt Lake City emo. Like, you know, it's like in their, you know, title of what they're all about. So it's like, it's you know, it's great.
Yeah.
It's really
they're
cool
like, let me sit you
happen.
down when that was not the thing. No, I'm joking.
That's right. Back when we had to skirt the idea.
Yeah. We blew off Tom's podcast, everything. Screw that. No, I'm kidding. It's cool. It is really cool. I think there is a changing of it, and the word is understood that has a deep history. And so, yeah, no, it is cool. A lot of people are cool with saying it.
Yeah, I got to do a pod. I think it was just for a zine, actually, and it was a young person from California, and they were doing their first zine.
That rules.
Is amazing. And then so we were talking. I was like talking about Fugazi. She's like, Fugazi. Everybody talks about Fugazi. Every single person that he's like, I need to interview Fugazi. And I was like, yeah, you should.
Yeah, just
and they're like,
hit up Ian.
Yeah, she was like, really? And I was like, yeah, he will talk to you. and then I got a text back that was, you know, a week later or something, like, Mr. Ian's gonna talk to me, you know. And I was like, that's amazing. you know, because the young kids, they don't have, you know, like I don't think I could talk, you know, to Ian, like, but they don't have this, you know, they haven't put him on this pedestal of,
right. Totally.
You know,
did I tell you that he yelled at me?
Nervous or no?
At the Discord house, I took my camera out to take a photo of something, and he's like, "Not that right now." And then I was like, "Okay." And then we're upstairs, and he's showing me some stuff, and then the door was left open, and he's like, "Close the door behind you."
Oh wow!
I was like, "This is awesome."
He's just teaching you like etiquette, I guess.
Yeah, it was so good. I was like, I don't know, the door's creaky. Do you want it shut? Like, my anxiety is through the roof. Like, I don't know. Do I shut it loud? Do I shut it? Like, is it going to stick? Like, do I need to really pull on it? Like, that all.
Do you really? Yeah. Do you really want me to shut this and then the knob not work?
Yeah,
later?
like, is that what you want? Because that's pretty much what goes through my head at all times. So, yeah, so it was really funny.
Yeah, and I had made the mistake. I was like, oh, when you do this, when you interview him, start with the day, the time, your name, and his name.
Yeah.
because he's gonna really dig that if you do that. And she's like, oh my God, what do you mean? Why do I have to do this? And I was like, oh no. I was just trying to give you a leg up. I wasn't, but I made her anxiety like a million times.
Yeah. He yelled at me as well when I started. He said, this is how we're supposed to start this, Tom. And I was like, shit.
Yeah, and it might have been through our conversation that I found that out. Or
I probably told you that because I'm still scarred.
Yeah, well,
and I forgot to do it with you earlier, right? See, I'm scarred.
But it's I guess it's a archivist type thing.
Yeah, absolutely, and I blew it. I did before the phone call started.
Okay.
I did say it's going to be Chris, take 2, and I said the date, but I didn't. I didn't have you do it. But I almost got kicked out of the venue for your show in Pomona.
Really? For what?
So we get up there, and I'm always nervous because, like, did they remember? And I was like, and it's like, we're right there. And then, but like the photo pass is under my name, but I said, no, give it to her. She's taking photos. And she's like, well, I'll just give you both. And I was like, okay, fine. Like, maybe I'll hold the camera. I'm not going to, I was like, okay, fine.
Right.
So we get to the security person, and Melissa opens up her thing, and she says, you can't come in here with that. And Melissa, it's like I kind of my New York popped in for a second, even though I'm just like my 16 years of just like, don't fuck me, like came in, and I was like, look at the band, what does that say? And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And she was like, don't start with that attitude. And I was like, you're 100% right. You're 100% right.
Oh man, the security there was
tight. It was serious.
And there was a fight right before, like during our sound check.
What?
Of like
outside?
Yeah. No, of security people.
Wait, security people were fighting each other. This is great. Tell me more.
I have no idea what happened, but all of a sudden, like, we kind of thought it was like, we thought they were joking. It was just like and then all of a sudden, like, a security guy punched like one of the sound guys out. And we were like, what the fuck is going on? Everybody stopped and
wow,
checked on everybody. But yeah, it was a scene in Pomona.
Did you say anything like, do you want us to run through that again?
Yeah. Did you, hey, can you, to the guy that's knocked out, like, can I get a bit more of the drums in my monitor?
Yeah, could you? I know that you're hearing a ring, but I need you to really dial in my guitar right now.
Yeah. No, we were just like,
holy shit!
Check on it, and then like everything was kind of normal, and they had gotten rid of the guy that threw the punch, and then like he came back in, and we were like, oh shit, and he was just like, he just did like a big kind of like, sorry guys, and like waved everybody, and then like left again.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm not sure what it was all about, but it was interesting.
Did you have another sound guy, or was he still there? Was it the same guy?
The monitor, yeah, it was the monitor guy, but yeah, he I think he stayed, but he was kind of on a couch for most of the night after that. But I think he got paid, so that's good.
Okay, that's good. Okay, good. Yeah, that's serious. I mean, there's a lot going on. There's just to let everybody know, Pomona, a lot of free parking. They don't check the lots; they're broken. But hey, when you get in that venue, check yourself.
That's right. You better watch out.
That was really funny. Can I leave that in or no? You don't want to call anybody out at the venue for punching each other?
Oh, well, yeah, I don't really care.
Okay, all right. I think that was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, no, it was fun. Nobody got really hurt, and we're not using names, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it wasn't Larry.
Yeah.
So. Well, nice, man. Chris, thanks so much for chatting.
Yeah, man, you too. Anytime, and of course, it doesn't have to be for this kind of stuff. And
I appreciate that.
I won't be. I won't punish you like I probably did to some midnight calls or.
No, you can do that. I love those random Facebook chats for like during COVID. That was COVID.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here. Wishing you a very happy half-off holiday because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. And Mint is still premium unlimited wireless for a great price. So that means a half day, yeah? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.